welcome back to another video with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're going to be taking a look at my top 5 sports games. Now these are going to be games that are not necessarily simulations, I guess you could call them, but some of them might fall into that category, but for the most part these are just sports themed games that are my top 5. Now I've played a lot of different sports themed games over the course of my board gaming career, and games like Pizza Box Football, Soccer Tactics World, Baseball Highlights 2045, Pizza Box Baseball, a lot of different games that are out there. These 5 games are ones that I currently really enjoy. So I guess that probably puts a little bit of a time bubble around this list, but currently speaking, this is my top 5 sports games. So let's go ahead and get into it. So my number 5 is a game called Chaos Ball. Now this one is probably a little bit harder to get a hold of, generally speaking, I guess, because the only place I've really seen it being sold consistently is at the CMON's Expo. But they had the base game and all the expansions there still available, so you probably can get them on their website or something to that effect. I don't know. I haven't done that level of research, but I will say that Chaos Ball was one of the first games that kind of brought this to genre, I guess you could say, to the forefront of my mind, because it was this interesting board game that was loosely based around a hybrid, I guess you could say, of football and soccer, and I thought it was an interesting little thing that you're just really kind of ripping into each other. Of course, you want to try to get the ball and score points and all that other kind of stuff, but really it was just kind of free for all, and I enjoyed that. All of the teams that they have available have a different feel to them. They all play a little bit differently than the others, and I like it when games do that as well. So this one is the one that I'm including on the list mainly because of its eye-opening effect that it had on me. So that's my number 5, Chaos Ball from CMON. My number 4 is a game called Fantasy Baseball. Now this one I did have a few problems with, but they were mainly component issues that I was having with the game itself. How the game plays is really fun. I like all of the different ideas that it employs as far as drafting your players and having, my pitcher is a little bit better at this than your pitcher is, and he's a little bit better than my pitcher at this other thing. And I like that about the game, how each individual player has a little bit of a different feel to it, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it captured the feeling of baseball pretty well, as well as just being a fun time. And it's called Fantasy Baseball because it has a fantasy theme on it. And then it has supposed to be replicating this idea of building your own team and using that team to battle somebody else's. So I really enjoyed Fantasy Baseball, my number 4. My number 3 is stepping out of the field of play and onto the track of play, and that is Formula D. Now, Formula D is a racing game, and which racing is a sport, I guess you could say, and it is one of the games that I really enjoy. It's one of the only racing games that I truly enjoy, and that is because it simulates racing, and it doesn't really bog down. Now, that doesn't mean that the games don't take a long time. What it means is that your turn is not this convoluted, I'm going to use this and do that, and then I'm going to hit the turn at this speed and do this, and then I'm going to downshift. And you downshift and do all that stuff in the game, yes, but it is not this convoluted mess that other racing games seems to do. And it's always been the kind of ironic thing about a racing game that they play so slowly. That just makes me chuckle sometimes. But Formula D, while it does take a long time to play, it doesn't play slowly. You are rolling the dice. Now you can. The rules actually, if I remember correctly, the rules actually say you shouldn't do this, but you can kind of nerf your turns and count out all the different squares that you want to go, and then decide which die. And if you have people that are doing that, then those are the people that you probably just want to either talk to them or just don't play this game with them, because it's really meant to be a very fast, fun game. Roll your dice, push your luck as far as what gear you're going to go into and all that kind of stuff. I really enjoy it a lot. It has a lot of different maps that are available for it as well. So you really need to give this one a try if you haven't already. That's my number 3, Formula D. My number 2 is a game called Slaughter Ball. Now, Slaughter Ball is very similar to Chaos Ball in the respect that you have a bunch of different teams that have all their own respective feel about it, but this one has kind of a sci-fi, futuristic feel to it, theme that's wrapped around it, and that's kind of what lifted it up over Chaos Ball a little bit. Additionally, they've come out with each team has their own home board that they can use, so that's also a pretty cool thing as well. Slaughter Ball is a really fun game in my opinion, and doesn't hit the table as much as I would like it to, just because there's so many other games out there that I have to play. But Slaughter Ball is really a fun game. It does take a little bit longer, which is another factor of it not really hitting the table that much, but I have it all on my shelves at home, and it's probably going to stay there for quite a while. That's my number 2, Slaughter Ball. And finally, my number 1 is a brand new game, actually, and it's the review that I gave of this game is actually what prompted me to kind of make this top 5 in the first place, and that is Blitz Bowl. Blitz Bowl is a brand new kind of diminutive version of Blood Bowl put out by Games Workshop. And the reason I say it's diminutive is because, first of all, you're only using half the number of players. The board is about half the size of Blood Bowl, and some of the mechanisms have been changed and altered to make it a little bit more streamlined and inviting, I guess you could call it that way. But the reason that Blitz Bowl is my number 1 and not Blood Bowl is because I think it's going to be hitting the table a lot more often than Blood Bowl will, simply because it's a tighter, faster game, and it gives me the same feel that Blood Bowl gives me. Now, I don't play Blood Bowl because I like the tournaments and the leagues and constructing my team and all of this kind of stuff. That's not why I play Blood Bowl. I play Blood Bowl because of the fun factor that is there. And so Blitz Bowl gives me that same fun factor in the same universe in half or maybe even a third of the time. So that's why Blitz Bowl is my number 1 sports game right now, I guess you could say. There possibly could come some games that down the pipe later on that will dethrone it, but right now my number 1 is Blitz Bowl from Games Workshop. And so that's that. All of the 5 games that I've listed here are really good games, I think, in my opinion, and I think they're games that you should try out if you have not yet already. You could possibly disagree with me, and that is absolutely okay. Nothing wrong with that at all. And of course, in the comments, maybe I missed a game that you like a lot that simulates a sports game really well. Let me know in the comments, and I certainly appreciate you listening and watching. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care now.